You know, we're going to talk about innovation today, new products and innovation. We're going to talk with a real expert. And as you know, we do these sessions from Atlanta, Georgia, and we're lucky enough to be in the shadow of the great Coca-Cola company. And that's where I met Tim Halloran, who's just been a great marketer at Coke. He developed and launched Dasani. He invented water.
That's right.
Can you believe that? Powerade. Gold Peak Tea, you and I worked on that together.
We did.
And great big-time marketer, great blue-chip marketer. And now, on the faculty of Emory Goizueta Business School, which is one of the, I think it's like the top 3 undergrad schools in America. So talking about innovation, that sounds like a little bit, you know, academic. But the question is, what does that mean to me if I'm leasing a chair in a beauty salon, if I've got a construction company, if I'm a landscaper, if I'm an insurance agent? Let's try to bring it down to there. And you know, we asked him to develop like 5 secrets of product innovation. And innovation is important. Anybody, which means everybody, who read One More Customer by the great Fran Tarkenton and me, and I hope you do read it. It's right on our onemorecustomer.tv to download for you. But when you read that, you're going to hear us emphasize again and again and again, you got to differentiate yourself from the crowd. You got to rise above the pack. And that's true in anything. But coming up with new ideas and new products and innovation is an important way to do it no matter what business you're in.
Absolutely.
So Tim Halloran, give us some secrets. Tell us something about innovation.
You're absolutely right. I mean, a lot of businesses, that's their mantra of growth, is new products and innovation and coming up with new ideas. I'd say the first thing to do is really know your customer.
Know your customer. Now, that's another one we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Talk to your customers.
Sure.
Know your customer.
You got to start with the consumer. And really, I mean, and I'm not just talking about males 20 to 30 or whoever that person is. You really got to understand them in a more in-depthly. You have to understand their needs. Why are they coming to you? What are the other options that they have out there? What is it about you or your new idea that's going to make them be excited, that's going to alleviate what I like to call a point of pain?
A point of pain, meaning this is a problem people have?
Either it's a problem or something that can be done better in their lives, or there's a need that they have that's not being fulfilled right now.
And now, we know, you and I know, big companies spend millions and millions of dollars on market research, but what does a small business person do? I mean, how do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars these big companies spend, and sometimes they need to because their companies go all across their products go all across the country. But with a small business person, right, talk to your specific customers, right? Have conversations with them. Understand why they are in your store or using you as a supplier. And then the other thing I always like to say is talk to some of your dissatisfied customers. Talk to some of the folks that have left you or have gone to another competitor. What was it that you weren't fulfilling from them?
What's out there?
Exactly.
Know your customer also. Does that mean know who your customer is going to be for this new product? I mean, sometimes we invent ideas, but they're, you know, sort of in search of a customer.
Yeah.
Know that very customer and know who they are and know who makes decisions.
Yeah, know who the customer is. But then, and this gets me to my second point, is the customer often doesn't know what they want. Okay, so that's a real dilemma, is how do you figure out if a customer doesn't know what they want, how am I as a marketer, as a small business owner, supposed to supply it to them?
Yep.
You and I were talking just the other day. The great Henry Ford said, you know, if I had given people what they asked for, I would have built them a faster horse. Right?
And Steve Jobs is famous for never doing market research for his products. He always said, look, the consumer's job is not to know what they want. That's our job.
Absolutely.
Is to guess what. But how do you do that? If you're a small business, how do you find out where you call it a pain point? How do you find that?
Well, I think, you know, a couple of things. You know, you got to infer. Okay, so you have to infer. You have to go beyond what people are telling you on the surface, right? Take the Steve Jobs example. People were fine with the Walkmans, right? At the end of the day, they were probably fine. You know what? I have this Walkman. I have a tape that I put inside of it, and everything's good. In my mind, I don't think I need anything else. But if you start digging a little deeper, you start trying to understand, well, gosh, it would be nice if I didn't have to every 20 minutes put this thing and flip it over. And in another, you know, and only listen to the same 10 songs over and over again. Well, from there, you're able to infer, gosh, wouldn't it be great to come up with a product that had thousands of songs available to you as a listener? So you've got to infer things by what people say, and that's the key to good marketing.
Yeah, and how, I mean, sometimes you just got to try stuff, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And there have been many famous products that have been invented just by an idea that kind of comes up, and there's a consumer need for it, and there's a fit for it.
It's easy to find out, you know, if you can get people to try it and see if it's got
Absolutely.
So you start with a customer. We have talked a lot about that, and almost every entrepreneur that we've talked to, whether it's Bernie Marcus or Janet Diorsi of the Gingerbread Construction Company, I mean, from Home Depot right down to the smallest business, they say you got to start with your customers. You got to know what they want. You got to know them. You got to talk to them. The customer doesn't always know exactly what they want. You have to infer. Now, Tarkenton and I did not get to infer in our English classes, so
what does
infer
that mean?
means.
Well, what does it mean? Infer. Okay, so a great way to do this is observe people, right? You know, we talked about asking them questions, but also observe them in the context of potentially what you're offering. You know, infer basically means is to ask them questions and then try to dig around the pain points, right? Try to dig around what people are saying and what that really means to you as a business owner. Okay, I have these problems. How do you as a business owner help solve that?
Well, I think, and probably the first McDonald's owner-operator who saw, you know, a mom grabbing a kid out of a car seat, parking the car, getting in, grabbing this and that, and getting in line and waiting, probably said, gotta be great if they didn't have to leave their car. If they could just drive around, you know, and maybe they'd seen a drive-through window at a dry cleaners or something, but that began drive-through.
Absolutely.
Great invention, great improvement on for a lot of people's lives.